layers, new layers, a couple of ways. The first way is I can hit this create new layer icon in my layers panel. I'm going to actually move my panel up so I can see it a little bit better. And that way I can see it, I can see all the buttons, it's not locked down to that bottom right corner. I can actually hit this create new layer icon and you can see that I've created a new layer. Now I can put anything on that layer and it will be separate. Another way you can create a new layer is Command J, which copies that layer. You can delete layers by dragging them to the trash. Now I'm going to add in a couple of layers there, and on each layer I'm going to make a new selection using the rectangular marquee tool, rectangular marquee. Now the rectangular marquee makes rectangles and makes squares. Now we can fill this area with our foreground or our background color. And the way Photoshop has this laid out is that one color overlaps the other. Usually you'll get a default color, which is black as foreground, white as background. You can switch these by hitting this little arrow that goes back and forth. Switch those. The shortcut for default colors is the letter D on the keyboard. The shortcut for switching between those two is the letter X on the keyboard. I'm going to go ahead and use the color panel or the color picker in my color panel to pick other foreground colors. And then I'm going to use a shortcut to fill this area with this foreground color. And that shortcut is Option Delete. Option Delete. I'm going to pick my second layer. I'm going to draw a new selection with my rectangular marquee tool. But this time I'm going to hold Shift down. And if I hold Shift down, I get a perfect square. I'm going to pick a new color and do Option Delete again. And so we have that area filled in. And then finally, I'm going to go to layer 3 and make a different shape, a different selection, and of course a different color. And I'm going to fill that. Option Delete. And finally, I'm finished. I have 3 different shapes on 3 different layers. I have my background layer, layer 0. I'm going to deselect this selection. So Command D is deselect. And now I'm going to go over to my Move tool. Now again, remember we talked about the Auto Select tool, or the Auto Select, and the Show Transform control selected being checked. That makes it a whole lot easier if I want to start moving things around or rotating them. Notice that your rotation is just outside of your bounding box. And in order to accept any kind of transformation, there's 3 ways. So if I wanted to rotate this and scale it up, I can double click on that to accept it, accept that transformation. I can check this checkbox right here up at the top to accept that transformation. Or I can just hit return on my keyboard and it will accept that transformation. But remember that I'm working quickly through this and rearranging these shapes because I have auto select checked and show transform controls checked. That is the key to get started to work really efficiently.